Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. Bitcoin is currently still holding above 41k. Doesn't really hold anymore above 41.5k, so it's pretty much again in this range here, and we are pretty much in a, I would call it even a no man's land range at the moment for Bitcoin, where honestly, if it goes a little bit up or it goes a little bit down, it doesn't really have a lot of meaning for the next step. So we're going to take a look at that. Generally, you can see that also the whole crypto market is a bit indecisive today, while Bitcoin is doing the same. So we have a little bit of ups, a little bit of downs. I would say generally a little bit more green than red. But yeah, again, you can see ApeCoin is coming down a little bit. We talked about that in the live stream yesterday a little bit. Just briefly though. Yeah, generally, you know, a little bit of up, a little bit of down, nothing really significant you can see here generally. What we can see here with Bitcoin is pretty much, I told you earlier today in the video. If I zoom in here on the 4-hour chart, or let me maybe go to the 1-hour chart, I think that is probably a little bit more meaningful. So you can see here on the 1-hour chart how the price did drop below that ascending trend line. So we had the ascending trend line on the chart. We talked about that bull flag here, Both targets were reached. Then talked about this descending, this bearish divergence on the 1-hour chart. We dropped. In the end, we didn't hold the trend line. Then we retested the trend line from below, which is a bearish sign. And then as a result, we dropped quite significantly, nearly to 40k. Yeah, well, we dropped to 40.5k. That was also what the VPVR indicator suggested to us as a first support level. So you can see that here. If we activate the VPVR, and I think I needed to zoom out a little bit, or zoom in a little bit more. There you go. You can see how those spikes align with where the price found support. So again, the VPVR can help us with identifying these things. And currently the price then is trying to, from that quite impulsive move down, trying to recover a little bit. But in the end, it seems to be, already see the first red candle again. So it doesn't really seem to be able to break above that 41.5k level again. Okay. And that is pretty much what I told you earlier in the video today, that what we could be seeing now, and bear in mind, this is only speculation. We are, as I said, we are pretty much in no man's land, but I always try to give you an idea what could happen next. And my idea was that we could see here, you have a left shoulder, you've got your head here, and now we needed to see a little bit of a recovery to form a right shoulder, possibly also struggling to get above 41.5k again, and then you build your head and shoulders pattern that you could then use to break out of this range between 39.7 and 42.7k. So I mean, a breakout would be in this case to the downside, yeah, because you've got this head and shoulders pattern, which is a rather bearish pattern. Would indicate that, you know, you have a high, you make a higher high, and then the bulls are not strong enough to make another higher high, so you're basically making a lower high, indicating that the next move will be to the downside if you break below the neckline. So that is certainly a very valid scenario that could be happening next, and for that you just have to recover a little bit. We saw that you know, we had a bit of a we were oversold obviously here, so that was also why you typically expect a little bit of a recovery then. Yeah, also a little bit of a bullish divergence here on the 1-hour chart, indicating a little bit of a recovery, which doesn't mean we need to make another higher high, but which indicates that, you know, the downside potential is limited. But now the RSI has recovered, and we're not yet overbought, but you can already see first few red candles here on the chart, indicating that the bulls are already struggling to push much higher, really. Yeah, so again, what could happen here now is just another lower high, or that we cannot push through that 41.5k level anymore. But overall, if we zoom out, we can just see we are here in this green zone. We are in this green zone here. That green zone is just the area between 39.7 and 42.7k. So it is just that no man's land zone where we pretty much are very, very indecisive about what is happening next. Yeah, a breakout to the downside here below 39.7k would make it much more likely that we are then heading down straight away. Oh dear, I didn't want to. That we are then heading down straight away into this target area that I have indicated on the chart anyway already. So my primary expectation, as you will know, is that we are heading down into this target area down here between 20 and 20, between 20 and 29k. Yeah, that is important to form an so-called expanded flat, where the wave C, in which we are, in my opinion, will make a lower low compared to that wave A. That is important. That is what we see time and time again. When corrections get finished, you need to make that lower low. It's pretty much like a capitulation, after which the price can rise again. Yeah. And one possible scenario how this could play out, well, we've got on the chart here this so-called ABCDE pattern, a triangle pattern where the price could push all the way up to 45.5k before it then exits the triangle at the opposite side of that wave E. Yeah, you can see that wave E is coming all the way up to 45.5k. That would be one scenario where the price could then go down, yeah, exit that triangle to the opposite side. The other scenario would be that we have, and I showed it to you earlier today, that we count this as a 5-wave move from that wave 4 top, currently also labeled as wave A, that we started here our wave 1, then you're going up in a wave 2, that might be complete. We are now in that wave 3, then you come up in your wave 4 again, and you come down in a wave 5, and we can adjust that a little bit. We come down in that wave 3, 4, and the wave 5 would be landing somewhere around the area of, yeah, between 22 and 25k, I would say. That is based on the Fibonacci extension levels. I showed it to you earlier today. The wave 3 would land around 27k. That is the 1.618 Fib extension. Then you get ideally a little bit of a recovery in a wave 4 in order to bring your indicators up a little bit, because after such a strong drop, they will probably be massively oversold. So you have to recover a little bit to then get that last sort of capitulation back into that range here. I know a lot of people, and I follow some other people as well, they all say that if the price is dropping below 30k, it's, first of all, it's nearly impossible. And then that they think if that happens, that would only happen if there is an event of significant FUD or anything. I just think it's normal market behavior. You need to get that lower low in. Just take a look at many other charts. We've got so many examples, not only in the S&P 500. I showed you these examples before, but there are so many examples in different crypto charts. And I showed you earlier in previous videos examples on the Bitcoin chart as well, which pretty much just is what we have to expect to some degree. Yeah, this is just the most likely scenario in my point of view. Yeah, this is still my primary expectation, that we head down here straight away, either through that ABCDE move or that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pattern. The alternative, of course, there is always an alternative as well. If we break to the upside of that triangle, then we would have a different wave count, and it will get a bit messy on the chart. I'll tidy that up later for the next video. But what you then have is an A wave B, and a wave C. This is also a valid chart pattern, where you would then go up in a wave B. Yeah, so that only becomes more likely and valid if we break above the 45.5k. Then you get in your wave B here, and again for that wave B we can then use different Fibonacci retracement levels. You would reach the area between 55 and 65k, and ideally then somewhere in here you're turning around and you will get into that target area in the end anyway, because this is what charts do, this is what Bitcoin does, and this is what we want in order to really complete the correction and to prepare ourselves for new all-time highs. That's still my view here, and at the moment still very indecisive, the chart. Bitcoin very much moving sideways, very much in the middle of that triangle in a zone. The triangle itself is already difficult, but then you're in that zone in the triangle where there is pretty much just sideways movement. It is very difficult at the moment. But yeah, on this channel you will know what is going to happen if we are exiting the triangle to one of these sides, and you're prepared. So if you don't want to miss any update, please subscribe to the channel, maybe even check out the channel membership for additional updates, and please also leave a like if you liked the video, and also a comment for the algorithm. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.